So very quickly, Grow with Google is an educational platform where Google identifies speakers, and there's a group of 13 speakers within this special program. These speakers have to have a background in entrepreneurship, in marketing, and some kind of business development experience. So Google hires us as business owners and as speakers to educate all of you. So right now, I am wearing my Google t-shirt. And if it wasn't for our partners like Innovation Studios and other nonprofit organizations and universities, these sessions would not be made possible for you. So right now, this is a free session, and it's because of Innovation Studios. So thank you. There's a picture of me. That's my hair blown out. When it's nice outside, I like to rock a different look, but that is me. That is my name, and that is my last name. Like I said, I'm located in the state of Rhode Island. Professionally, I run and operate two businesses. The first business I run is a social entrepreneurship marketing business where I do things like this. I train and I educate businesses how to grow online. And then my other business, which I like to call my heart business, it's a charitable organization. It's also based in the state of Rhode Island called Carita Smiles, where we take volunteers from Rhode Island and also other places within the United States, and we do some really interesting and sustainable work within developing countries. And that program is called Take a Trip, Change a Life. And the reason why I like to share a little bit about my background is because all of the technology education that I offer to everybody, I've actually implemented it into my own business. So I know that there's so much content and so much information and so many workshops out there that exist. I've actually done all of the things that I am going to be sharing with you today. And so my purpose is this. My purpose is to help you simplify the process of identifying the tools that you need to grow. And the second thing I want you to do is I would love for you to start implementing those tools. So then that way you can gain traction, you can help your clients understand your products, you can help your communities push forward, and you can continue to grow your business with purpose. All right, so now let's move on. We are going to start. Take a look at this. This actually should be a picture of me and probably anybody else. Why? When you have a question, when you're trying to figure out in New England if the sun is going to come out, I know what you're going to be reaching for. You're going to be reaching for this right here, okay? This is the first thing I see in the morning, and this is the last thing I see in the morning. Now, why is this important for businesses that are growing, that are expanding? The following reason is this: when consumers are looking to make a purchase, the first point of contact probably isn't going to be them driving by. And it's probably not going to be, people or potential consumers seeing a billboard. It's going to be them finding you online whenever they have a question, whenever they're interested in purchasing something, whenever they feel like traveling or learning about the weather, etc. So that's going to be your first point of contact. So we need to get you online, and you might have an online presence, but there are certain things that you should be doing to help you get found when people are asking questions in their moment of need. They want the information now, and they want it to help solve a problem or an issue they're having. Now, check this out, okay? Here are some numbers that I'm going to be throwing at you, okay? We're going to be talking a lot about content and content development as it relates to your consumers. As you start growing your business and tweaking who your target market is, it's essentially important that you understand what content they are using. And when I talk about content, there are three different kinds of content. Content is text. I know if you've been here with me before, you know what I'm going to say next. Okay, content is video, and content is also photos. And when you put that content out there, the text is probably going to be the first thing that's going to help your consumers get to where your product and services are, which is on your website. Now, 80% of people that are looking for your product and service, they use phrases like local businesses near me, okay? So they might type in, and I don't know here, let's see, I'm trying to figure out here if I know any businesses. Let's say that you run a cafe, and you're interested in grabbing coffee, but you don't want to go to the local Starbucks, right? You want to go and you want to celebrate, and you want to give some acknowledgement to a local business. You might type in cafes near me, or newer cafes near me, or even better, the best cafes near me. Why? Because we want the best, right? So there's information out there that Google has collected that says 80% of growth searches have that specific keyword, okay? Not only that, when folks connect with businesses with these keywords, 61% of those consumers, they end up making a purchase, which these are very significant numbers, which are important to us. So we're going to be talking a lot about content, how we can speed up the experience between consumers and online. And not only that, we're going to be creating a campaign, a Google advertising campaign together if you are ready to get started with creating campaigns. But the first part of this session, I'm going to give you a bunch of resources that are all free, okay? And there's a phrase that I like to rock, and there's a phrase that I love to share, and it goes like this: whatever is free is for me. Especially if you are starting and growing a business, you really need to know what resources are available for you for free. All right, so check this out. This is going to be the agenda, and it's truly extensive, and time is going to go by very, very quickly. But like I said before at the beginning of the session, I'm going to be taking some breaks 18 minutes in, and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions, and then I'm going to go towards the end of the workshop to see if we have any additional questions. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be talking about how Google search works as it relates to content. The second thing, we're briefly going to touch on search engine optimization. And I'm going to give you some high-level tips that you can implement on your websites and on specific pages that you are trying to promote, along with a little SEO guide. And then I'm going to be showing you a platform called the Google Business Profile, which the previous name used to be Google My Business. For many folks that are just starting a business, or perhaps you're transitioning into another business, you really need to be on this platform because it also helps with SEO and it helps you to promote your products. And then the last part of this session, I'm going to show you how to advertise. Right now, Google has a Google ad credit that is the equivalent of 500 Google ad dollars, okay? So I'm gonna give you a special link that you could use, and then I'm also gonna be giving you a cheat sheet. Got it? All right, everybody, let's jump right in. So the question is this: how does Google search work, okay? Somebody has a question. We used the question earlier as it relates to, finding a local cafe. But you can think of search like this. Think of going into a library and having a ton of books from top to bottom. And when you walk in, you're like, oh my goodness, there isn't the Dewey Decimal System anymore because they only had it when I went to college. So as an example, let's say that wasn't part of this library, okay? What Google does is it collects different books that are, we can use books as an analogy. So books as websites, okay? There's a ton of resources and a ton of information and many, many different types of websites. What Google does is it helps you to identify the keywords and the different books within that platform. And so those books are websites. So what Google does is it just helps you to organize information and connect the content with the specific website or platform that you are looking for, which means that creating content that is specific to your consumers when they're looking for whatever products and services in their moment of need is going to be extremely important. And so understanding that is going to help you get out there. So there are 3 different ways that your information can pop up, okay? The first way is through organic results. So here, your website can show up because of the amount of content that you are pushing forward, okay? The amount of text information, the amount of videos, and the amount of photos that you're putting out there as it relates to the keywords that your consumers are using to get what they're looking for. The second way that your information can show up is through this Google Business Profile, which is a free profile, and I'm going to show you how to get access to that. The third way that your information can show up is through text advertising, which is going to be the last part of this session, and I'm going to show you how to create a Google ad campaign, okay? All right, so now let's briefly talk about SEO or search engine optimization and how you can reach more customers using these keywords, okay? So our whole goal for today is to help you come up on the first page. I mean, everybody wants to come up on the first page of Google, but organic results, they appear in the center of the area. And this is so right now we're looking at a computer view, okay? So this is a screenshot of a computer view. And so right here, typically any information that doesn't have the two letters AD next to it, it means that your information, your website is coming up for free because of the amount of work that Google is doing and the amount of work that you are doing as it relates to content, okay? So here we go. Now for SEO, we understand that it helps you make your website more visible, and it will absolutely help you connect with customers and at the end increase potential sales. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share real quick this SEO starter guide. So again, you might be interested in learning more about how to optimize your website, and it is with specific keywords. I'm also going to be giving you another tool that you could use called Google Trends that could be very beneficial to help identify what key phrases might be used by your clients, okay, along with another platform called the Google Keyword Planner. But for this page right here, this is a getting started guide, okay? And it also talks about something called the Google Search Console, where if you're just in the process of creating your website and you want your website to come up immediately, the Google Search Console, which we're going to be talking about in just a moment, will help your website get found, and it will be added to the Google index. Okay, so that's going to help you with optimization as well. Now, it's not necessary, however, to quickly get you up to speed, your site, your website should be listed or should be added to the Google Search Console. Okay, so here you have a series of things that you could do. There's many questions that are answered. Okay, and so you can go ahead and take advantage of reading this, not right now because obviously you are with me, but I want you to take a quick view, or if you're working with a marketing person or an SEO person, make sure they're up to date with what is happening as it relates to SEO. All right, everybody, so let's continue on with these slides. So that way we can give you some more tips, okay? So there used to be a phrase that used to say content is king, but we switched it up because it is key for everything. Here are two fundamental tips that you should implement on your website or whenever you're putting out content, okay? So publishing great content, but the question is this, it's like, okay, what is great content? Great content is inspirational content, content that informs, and content that educates. If you combine those great types of content, your reach will increase because of the kind of information you are putting out there. And so, of course, making sure that the content is relevant and original is going to be important. Not only that, but really figuring out who your customer avatar is. There are different exercises that you can do to help you identify your customer avatar. And not only that, there isn't only one customer avatar, but you could have between 3 and 4, 5 and 6 different kinds of potential consumers or ideal consumers that you are speaking to, that you are sharing inspirational content to, that you're trying to educate, okay? A great example of publishing great content is the following. Let's say that you saw this workshop being advertised, okay? And the workshop was being advertised in English, okay? How to reach customers online with Google. Now, once you attended the workshop, once you clicked the join button, si la presentación fuera totalmente en español, uno va a decir, oye, yo no entiendo ni papa, okay? So imagine if when I started the presentation, the information was in Spanish. You would say, you know what, this content is not for me. I don't understand it. I don't get it unless you do understand Spanish. But my point is this, if a consumer clicks on a product or service, and if the content isn't relevant to what they are looking for, you know what they're going to do? They're going to be like, deuces, peace out, I'm done. So you want to earn respect, and you want to gain that respect by offering them great content, okay? As it relates to what they are looking for and as it relates to your product and service, okay? Tip number 2, use page titles and descriptions with those keywords. That's certainly going to help with optimization, okay? And then the third point is this. is being organized on your website, having a list of all of the buttons in your menu section, and simplifying the process of people reading your page and being able to take action is really going to be helpful when Google has. So another point I want to make, when Google connects the content that your potential consumers are using to your website, there's something called Google bots. So these Google bots take that content and then it almost acts like a magnet, and then they unify what the searcher is looking for, and that same content that happens to be on your website. So that's how they make the connection. So the more organized you are, the easier it will be for those Google bots to find you. So having too many photos, having too much information can be very, very overwhelming. Although we do like to still continue to say that content is key, but it's that specific type of content. And I know I spent way too much time talking about that. Now, this tool right here is one of two that can help you solve a lot of the issues that you might be having as it relates to trying to find out what content is key. So Google Trends, it's a free platform where you can see what words and phrases are popular on Google search. You can also compare the different phrases that you might think are ideal for your consumer. So let's say that, again, I'm going back to my cafe analogy. Let's say that, you want to create a promotion that says, Dominican Cafe as an example, but you're not sure if people would probably use the word Dominican. Maybe they might use Latin cafe as an example. You can compare the two and you could see which keywords are trending. So then that way you can pick the best keyword, because that's all we want, right? We want the best keyword because we want some returning consumers. That way you can pick that and then add that to your content. And then the other thing that Google does is it also helps you research other keywords, okay? So real quick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this presentation. We're gonna leave the live session right here, and I'm gonna grab this site because I wanna show you what this looks like. So here, this is where you can enter a search term or topic. You can enter, let's see, I believe right now you can enter as many as 6 different phrases, and you could figure out which ones are hot and which ones are not. So if I scroll down here, I also see that Google has a year in search 2021. It's an inspirational video that Google has created that has collected a series of phrases throughout the year 2021. And it's just, it's an inspirational video. You should check it out. Now, if I scroll down here, Google lets me know what is trending right now at this moment, okay? So we see that PGA Tours is trending, Jay Morant, we have Tyreek Hill. He was also trending yesterday as well. This area right here, it gives me deeper information on how I can use my content and connect it to what is recently trending right now. And that could also help with search engine optimization. Let's take this as an example. So we see that National Puppy Day, it might be today, it might be trending. Let's say that you own and operate a pet shop. Perhaps you want to create some kind of a post or a link on your website and then share it on social media that has the keyword National Puppy Day. That's really going to help to optimize your platform. So you could come here and you could take a look at what's hot, what's trending. Then down here, you also have a list of other videos that Google has compiled throughout the years. So, and then that way you could see what people have been searching for. So just real quick up here, I'm going to show you how this works. So as an example, how about if I put in, let's try the cafe example. So how about if we put Latin cafes? Let's say that, we have a cafe that we want to promote, and the word or the phrase that I'm looking to add is Latin cafe. That's going to be the first one. It's going to be the first phrase. The second phrase might be, how about Dominican cafe as an example, okay? Dominican cafe. And perhaps the third one that I want to compare is, how about if we do a Spanish cafe, just as an example, okay? So now I have 3 different search terms here. Now, within the United States, which is right here, it's telling me within the past 12 months under all categories and on web search, okay, the keyword right now that or phrase that is trending is Spanish cafe. So if I were to put together a campaign specifically for my consumers, I would not use Dominican cafe, and I could probably use Latin cafe, but I would most definitely use a Spanish cafe as an example. Now, if I wanted to be hyper specific as it relates to whatever city I'm promoting, I could come here and I could say, okay, you know what? In Rhode Island, let's see, in Rhode Island, I want to see what phrases are trending, okay? So which one of these phrases are most popular in Rhode Island? So if I select that, let's see what happens. Oh, so it doesn't have enough information. That is very interesting. How about if we do New York? So if we do New York, let's see what happens. And what I am going to do is I'm going to change it from the last 12 months. Okay, see, in New York, now I do have data, so that way I can compare. Because the last 2 years have been a very different experience as it relates to trends in marketing, what I want you to do is when you do this, click to where it says the last 5 years. Now you're going to see that there's going to be much more activity, okay? Now still, we're looking at New York because Rhode Island, there wasn't that much activity with people searching for Latin cafes or Spanish cafes. But if I wanted to look at New York, check this out. I know that the key phrase for me to use if I'm using content and if I'm trying to optimize and get more people to go to my website is going to be that phrase Spanish cafe. Okay, so go ahead, check it out on your own, and let me know what you think. The other thing that I want to show you is after you've added in your phrases that you're looking to compare to see which one is hotter, if you scroll down here, Google will let you know what related queries are trending as well. So you can take a look and you're like, oh, look, Latin foods near me. That's really hot. Latin bites, Latin restaurants, etc. So you could take a look at that. Now, the second one, this is going to be a bonus one that isn't part of this presentation, but I still want you to use that. And you probably heard of the Google Keyword Planner, okay? What I did was I just added in the Google search platform, I just added in Google Keyword Planner. Now, when you use this, make sure you are signed in with your Google email address and your password. Here, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste this link right here. So then that way you can go ahead and try it out, okay? In the Google Keyword Planner, it goes a little bit more in depth, okay? And it gives you more details as it relates to additional words that you can use. And it also lets you know how much each word costs because each word has a specific price that's connected to it. The more popular the word is, the higher it costs. But when I click here where it says discover new keywords, Google is now going to ask, okay, enter products or services closely related to your business. And then it's going to ask me to enter my domain name, okay? So you can go ahead and do that. And after you do that, then you will get a list of other keywords and complementary keywords, and it will also give you more details about what other words you can use. Okay, everybody, this is the activity that you are going to do. You don't have to do it right now because you are going to be getting the full presentation. These are the steps. Go to Google Trends, enter a keyword or phrases related to your business, narrow down by location, and then you can adjust the date range and then explore other queries, okay? Here's another tip here for design and for usability, okay? I know that a little while ago, I briefly spoke about, okay, the importance of getting your consumer to get the information they need quickly, okay? So your site should have a fast load time, okay? And not only that, your information, mainly I'm talking about your website, it should come up in a way that reflects your brand. And on your mobile device, on an iPad, and on the computer, it should have a really nice look and feel to it that simplifies the process of your consumers taking action. So let's take a look at some tools that will help you speed up your website and show up really nicely when people are looking at your platform, okay? This platform here is called Test My Site, okay? This platform, when you add your domain name, and I'm not going to pick on anybody because typically websites are about 3 seconds. It takes about 3 seconds for consumers or viewers to see. And y'all, 3 seconds is a long time in the world of online sales and online growth. The key number after you enter your domain name is about 1.5 seconds, okay? So if your website is coming up at 1.5 seconds, let me tell you something. I got a little sticker right here. I'm gonna give you a sticker. You get a Grow with Google sticker, because let me tell you that it merits, high five 10 times, okay? Congratulations. Now, if your website is about, oh, I don't know, if it takes more than 3 or 4 seconds, then you have a problem, okay? It's taking too long, people get frustrated. After you enter your domain name, Google gives you a report of your site, okay? It says the reason why your site might be lagging or slow, it might be, and the number one reason is because of photos. The photos might be too big, the ideal size, and this number changes all of the time. You can always Google to find out what the ideal size is for a picture to add to a website. I believe it's about 1,000 pixels by 900 pixels, but again, that changes. Make sure your photos are between those sizes, okay? And once you do that, that will help with optimization. The second reason is the following. If you have a broken page or something is happening, maybe there's, or even within that page, there are broken links that can hinder your website showing up on the first or second page of Google. So you want to make sure that your links are legit, they're straight, and they're tight. So make sure that you use this so that way it can help with optimization, okay? So I'm going to do this real quick. Let's see what happens. We're going to enter the domain name, and let's see what kind of information comes up, because this could be very, very helpful to help you move forward. So what I did was I went back to the test my site, and we're using somebody's website, Waleska's website, to see what happens, okay? To see how quickly her site loads when somebody clicks it. So see what happens. Google is saying, getting your full report for custom recommendations. Let's see what happens. So right now it's in poor status, okay? So your mobile page speed is 3 seconds on a 4G connection. So this is how people are going to be finding you if they're using their mobile device. That speed might be different on a computer, but we're looking at this on a mobile device, okay? So now what happens is that Google now says, here are some things that you can learn to optimize your mobile speed, okay? And then here, it also gives you recommendations specific to your site, okay? And so once you do that, here we go. Let me see, if you scroll down here, we can get additional information, make it seamless, recommendations, etc. And then here where it says get your full report, you're gonna be seeing what is happening and how you can help to optimize your platform. So it's at a 3, which isn't ideal. It should be at about a 1.5 or even a 1 second. So there you have it. So another resource here that I want to share with you, and I spoke about it very briefly, it's called the Google Search Console, which is another free platform, okay, that Google has. And it helps you make sure and confirm that Google can see your site, okay? Not only that, but if anything is happening, remember I talked about those broken links that you might have for some reason or another. Sometimes that happens on websites. Google will send you an email directly to your inbox and say, to tell you that something is wrong with your website and it's slowing down people getting to your site, or there's a broken page or what have you. So make sure you go to the Google Search Console to make sure that, one, you're showing up on the Google search platform. And number 2, just to make sure that that your website is part of the index, and that is the Google Search Console. Okay, then, so now the next thing you should do as an activity, and you can go ahead and do this now if you like, if you go to google.com and if you search for words and phrases, okay, that are specifically related to your consumer, okay? So you're gonna put yourself in the place of your consumer, and you're gonna see if whatever they are searching for will connect them to your product and service. If your website doesn't show up, then we have work to do, okay? If it does, then you get right here, you get an acknowledgement, okay? You get a Grow with Google sticker, okay? So you can go ahead and do that. And so now, let me just take a look at the time. Now let's talk about how you can create your business profile, okay? For many of you that don't know about this platform, I'm gonna breeze by it. We actually have a full presentation on how to claim and verify your Google business profile. For many of you, you probably already have a business profile, but you might not be using it to your advantage, especially as it relates to SEO and getting new consumers, okay? And getting new clients. So let's take a look. This is what a business profile looks like if you're looking at this on a computer, okay? Usually the business profile shows up on the right-hand side. The way that you get access to this profile is you go to this address, which is google.com/business. Here's a pro tip for everybody, okay? Whenever you're using Google products, make sure you sign in with your email address and your password, because once you do that, Google will save all of the details for you. If you're working with Google Docs, with Google Sheets, as a matter of fact, next week I have a 3-part series on how to use all of those Google applications for free. And the first step is for you to sign in, okay? So you're gonna do that before going to google.com/business. Once you're in there, okay, I'm gonna give you some tips and then we're gonna go back. So then that way I can show you how to post for free on your Google business profile, okay? But if you're just starting out, make sure you complete your business information. You can add photos and videos. When you upload your photos and videos, make sure, because we're talking about content is key, make sure you're saving those photos with those keywords, okay? So if there's like a photo of, oh, I don't know, let's say you sell journals, okay? You know, journals are real popular. Here's my journal that I rock. Let's say that you're selling journals and the name of your business is Amy's Journal, okay? Make sure that you add Amy's Journal, you know, .jpeg instead of using the template number that usually comes or is saved with that photo. Just make sure you customize it with the keyword of the business or whatever keyword you want, okay? All right, and then you can explore other features, like you can add bookings if you're taking appointments. And then, like I said, you can also share product information and services directly from your Google business profile, okay? Like adding posts. And real quick, I'm gonna show you how to do this because Google changed the way that you can post and share details for free on Google. You can also read and respond to reviews. And if you'd like, you can also add a messaging component. If somebody has a question or if somebody, you know, is interested in visiting you, what have you, you can add this messaging feature so that way they can get to you, okay? Now, the next step for all of you that are in the process of verifying your business is to do this. You're gonna go here to this address. You're gonna claim and complete your business profile. I do wanna preface by saying this. If you fully do business online, Google is not going to verify or claim your business. However, if you have a brick and mortar business, a physical location that people can go to, if you are an educator, a consultant, marketing person, sell real estate, you can have a Google business profile because you are offering a service from your home office. However, if you're straight up online, stay with me because I'm going to show you how to create online marketing campaigns, okay, using Google. But if you're not, then go ahead and follow these steps. Once you complete your business profile, you're going to wait at least a week, and then you're going to get a postcard in the mail. It's going to have a special code in the back of it. Once you add that code to the business profile, then your business profile will be live. Right now, if you claim and verify it today, you can make any changes, you can edit, you can customize it with those keywords, but it's not going to be live and it's not going to show up until you add that number, okay? I'm going to open up a page to illustrate what I am talking about because it's much better to show you. I tell people what to do all the time, but you know what? It's so much better to show because you learn by showing, right? Okay, so I'm gonna add the name of my business, it's just called Sixia Divine. I'm already signed into Google. So I know this because on the right-hand side, there's a little circle and that is my business account. I also have other businesses that I run, but I am signed into the specific account that I want us to use. So for right now, what happens is if you're interested in promoting or in getting more reviews, you can do this right from the search feature on Google if you are signed in, okay? Now, again, make sure you're signed in with the email address that you are using for your business, okay? This is the way that you promote and share products and services, okay? If I click on to where it says edit profile, check this out. I have all of these things that I can update and I could change my business information, if I want to change my address, or if I want to maybe change my phone number, this is where I go. If I want to change my hours of operation, products. If I click to where it says product, I have the ability to add whatever new products I want to share with Google. So about 6 months ago, I started an art business, an online art business. And this is just an example of something that I posted, of a product that I posted. When you're uploading and sharing product information, the view on Google isn't going to show up for 24 hours, okay? That's only for products because Google wants to make sure that whatever you're selling is legitimate and you're not selling anything that you shouldn't be selling, okay? So that's how you click this, and then you click to where it says add product, and then Google will take you through a series of steps that you have to take in order for you to promote that. The other way that you can promote your product is if you click to where it says promote, and let's say that I want to add an update, okay? This is just something, an additional thing that I can use to help with my promotion, okay? It's telling me here to add a description. So real quick, let me just see here. Do I have a special picture? Okay, yeah, I have a picture that I can add. So I am going to add a photo of a painting that I did a few weeks ago. So, the description would be, Latina goddess. What's up, girl? You Latina goddess artwork. That is just going to be the phrase that I'm going to use. I'm going to put art for sale. Check it out. Okay, as an example, we're doing this real quick. It's going to say to add a button. Yep, I'm going to add a button. I'm going to add how about learn more button, okay? Because I want them to take a look at this platform. So let's see, 6artstudio.com, okay? And so that's the name, that's the link that I want people to go to. If I click to where it says add photo, I have the ability to go to my computer or drag and drop. So I have this photo, here we go, of this painting that I did a few weeks ago. And so check this out. I just drag and dropped it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to post it. I am posting this right on Google. Google's going to send me this message and it's going to say, your update is being reviewed. Okay. I'm going to say, okay, great. It's being reviewed, but it's actually going to show up almost immediately. So right now on Google, I just posted this. Okay. Here we go. Latina goddess artwork, art for sale. Check it out. Okay. This is on Google. If I want to share this on my social media platforms, you see here, this is what I call the sideways peace sign. If I click that, now I have the ability to share on Facebook, Twitter, email, or boom, I can go to Instagram and cut and paste that and share it there, okay? So I'm gonna X out of here and I am gonna refresh this page, because after we see how that product, how that update is shown up, if I scroll down here, this is where my detail, this is where this posting shows up. This is another way to share content and expand your business, okay? So I wanted to share that with you. The first step to creating a Google ad campaign, and I'm going to save some time at the end so that way I can get to your questions, okay? So the first step is to go to this address on the left-hand side, g.co/ads. Make sure you're signed in with your Gmail and add your password, okay? So then that way all of your details will be saved, but you're going to go here to this address on the left-hand side. Once you do that, you're going to click to where it says start now. And here's a checklist that is included as part of this presentation. So that way, before you jump into creating a campaign, you can go ahead and check all of those things off. What we're going to do is we're going to take this step by step as if we were creating a real marketing campaign on Google, okay? The first thing is Google's going to ask you for what your goal is. Do you want more people to call you? What's up, 60? How you doing? I want to buy your art. Or do you want people to go to your website to sign up for something, a newsletter? Maybe you're selling some kind of a learning product, what have you. Or do you want people to drive to your physical location? In this example, we want people to go to the website, because for many of you, you might be doing your online sales 100% and not have a physical location. From there, it's going to ask you if you have a business profile. If you don't have a business profile, that's okay. You can go ahead and skip that. But if you do, Google's going to add that so that way it can collect information. Then you're going to add the name of your business right here as it shows up. And then you're going to add the website that you want people to go to once they click that advertising campaign. If it's a special page, if it's a learn more page, you can go ahead and add that. Once you do that, Google is going to allocate, it's going to collect the different images and information that it's going to get from your website. So it's just showing you what it would look like, okay, as an example, okay? You can also upload different photos as it relates to the campaign that you are putting together. Now, this is where we're gonna get down and funky as it relates to the content. Remember how we talked about, because we talked a long time about keywords and about content development. You're gonna add 3 headlines, 2 description lines, okay, with those keywords, those special keywords that your consumers are using to get in front of your product and service. You're going to be creative and you're going to add that right here to this area. Once you do that, Google's going to say, here are some other suggested keywords that will help you get found when people are searching for you. If you see a keyword that doesn't connect with your business, you can go ahead and edit that, okay? And then it's going to ask you where you want to advertise. Do you want to advertise in a specific zip code, city, region? Where do you want your product and service to show up? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to select that. Then this is the money part. This is like, all right, after you've done all of the work, you've got the content, you have the information. Now Google is saying you actually have 4 options. The suggested option is to pay $6 per day on this specific campaign. But guess what? What if you're just testing the market? What if you're like, you know what? I want to test it. I got to test before I pay. You can come here, this 4th option where it says enter your own budget. So let's say you only want to spend, maybe $2. You only want to spend $2 per day. You're going to click that, and then you're on your way to spending $2. Now, if you minimize the amount of money that you're putting into Google, then that means you're going to minimize your audience. Okay, so you want to be very mindful of that. But if you're just starting out, I would probably be very mindful of how much funding you're investing. Okay, so now you're going to review your ad and make sure that everything looks good. You can also select what days you want your advertising campaign to go out to. Okay, let's say that we're to go out on. So let's say that on Sundays and Mondays, you're like, listen, I got to take a break. I'm not going to be working, so I don't want my ads to go out on those days. You can exclude those days, and then you can also edit the times that your ad goes out. So you can go ahead and customize that information, okay? So the question is, now what, okay? So the other things that you could do as it relates to Google Ad, and this, we also have a full presentation on this, okay? This specific workshop covers a ton of information, okay? For this, for creating Google Ad campaigns, we have a full session on this. Here are some things, additional things that you could do. So you can create ad variations, which is similar ads to the main ad that you've created. You can also add negative keyword themes. You can schedule words, I just said this, schedule ads to appear on certain days, and connect to Google Analytics. Google Analytics is another free platform and tool that you can use that will help you identify who your consumers are, where they're coming from, what city, what state, what their tendencies are, what times of the day they're connecting to specific sites, what keywords they're using. So I would absolutely connect your Google Analytics platform to your Google Ads campaign. So then that way you can get a much stronger picture of who your ideal avatar is. Then you can also monitor performance and edit and pause anytime. And let me take a look at the time. Okay, great. We still have a few minutes. Here are some resources for you. This is a review of what we talked about, the 3 areas that your website can appear on. These are the platforms which you are going to be getting. All of these links as part of this presentation. You can go ahead and check it out. Everything, the first 2 are free. If you're ready to invest, then that's where you go to the Google Ads campaign. And then here are some other workshops that other important links that were part of this workshop. So you have all of that for you. And then here's the cheat sheet that I want to give to you. I'm going to give this to you right now, because if you've been here for like the full hour, well, it hasn't really been a full hour, but let me tell you, it is a long session, and I hope that I made it go by quick. Here is, remember I talked about the bonus that Google will match $500. This is the way it works, okay? I don't want this to be confusing, but right now Google has, I'm going to show you right now, if you go to just googleads.com, it will have this blue thing, okay? You can use the link that I give you. It doesn't do anything for me, but it's just a link that you can have, okay? Up here, it says, to help you get started, if this is the first time you are using Google Ads, Google will match 500 additional Google ad dollars, okay? So after you spend 500, then Google is going to give you an additional 500. So you do have to give your credit card and follow the rules in order for you to get this credit. This has been such an honor for me. Again, I hope that what I mentioned to you at the beginning, I hope that I've helped to simplify the process. And my goal is to help you take action. I think that one tip as a business person, as a business owner who runs 2 businesses plus a family, is to add or to do 3 things as it pertains to your business. And it could be 3 little things. Well, let's see, 1, 2, it's really 3 companies. And what I do is I just every day, and it's part of my calendar, 3, 3, and 3. So, and then that way it helps me move forward and use the resources. Okay. And I know it's easier said than done, but really put them to use. Because listen, we sacrificed over an hour together. So go ahead and use it.